Good morning, and welcome to Walk Before You Run. This morning, I am still reading the book, Waiting on God, and it's actually a 35-day book. I almost want to call it a devotional, but it's a 35-day book by Andrew Murray, and I'm on day 4. And so the scripture that he gives us is Psalm 145, verses 14 and 15. And it reads, "The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season." But I also took a look at Matthew 17. Why, I can't explain. I just know that that's where I was led. And when I looked at that, I was focused on verse 14 forward. And I'm going to read that. And it says, "And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him," talking about Jesus, "a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me." And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. And while they abode in Galilee, Jesus said unto them, The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men. I want to stop there because I was mostly focused on who Jesus was talking to when he said, uh, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? So, was he talking to his disciples who did not um, cure the boy, or was he talking to the people? Who was he talking to when he was talking about this faithless generation? You go study and you figure it out. Ask God to show you. But when I was studying today and I was looking at Psalm 145, I looked at some words that were inside of that psalm. Good morning. And so when I was looking at Psalm 145, I looked at these words that kind of jump from the pages, to me. And I'm going to share some of those with you. Today is mostly reading for me. I'm not going to talk about a lot because when I was doing my morning devotion, the Lord just spoke to me through the words of the writer Andrew Murray and asked me the question, do I sit silently and meditate upon his word? Do I wait for him to talk to me when I pray, or do I just give him my list of desires and get up? Do I hand him my burden, my worries, and then just get up and go about my day? And I was slightly convicted. No, I was a whole lot convicted. But some of the words that jumped out to me, and I will read and then I will share with you. Verse 1, I will extol thee, my God, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. And bless means to give praise or call God holy. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. And that word unsearchable means beyond our understanding. 4 says, one generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. I stopped and I looked up speak. And in this instance, in the Bible, the speak means to meditate. So then I looked up meditate, and it means to think deeply or focus one's mind for a period of time in silence or with the aid of chanting for spiritual purposes. And I ask myself, how long do I sit in silence when I pray to God? How long do I sit and meditate, on His Word? Not trying to get to the next thing, not thinking about the next thing, not getting ready to hurry up and go on my way. But how long do I sit in silence waiting on God to speak to me? And then verse 5 says, I will speak of thy glorious honor, of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. So I looked up glorious. And glorious means having, worthy of, or bringing fame and admiration. Then I looked up majesty, royal power, impressive dignity and beauty. And all I could do was smile when I think about God and his majesty, his royal power, and the beauty of being in his presence. Um, Verse 6 says, and men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts. And that word terrible just means awesome. Those things that are just too great to even put words to. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness. And I was looking at that word they. They what? All of these acts, all the things that God has done in our lives, done for us, to us, with us, through us. They shall sing of thy righteousness. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion. He is slow to anger and of great mercy. Mercy is when we don't get what we deserve, that punishment. Growing up, sometimes I could look at my dad in a certain way, and then that discipline I was supposed to get, he would forego. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Lord, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. How often do we just praise him? We go to church and we sing songs, but how often do we stand there in silence and in awe and admiration, and just think of his wonderful works and just thank him for those things that he has done in our lives? Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. I looked up dominion, it's sovereignty or control. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion, his control, endureth throughout all generations. His sovereignty, he reigns throughout all generations. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. You know, if you don't bow down and you set yourself up high, then he will bring you down. But if you bow yourself in submission to him, in admiration, um, in um, holy honor of him, he will raise you up. And if he raises you up, nobody can pull you down and nothing can pull you down. Verse 14, I'll read it again. The Lord upholdeth all that fall and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee. And thought about that waiting. What are you doing when you're waiting? When you wait on the Lord, it means that you are looking expectantly to God. You are looking to Him um, to come into this situation, to handle this situation, to make it right, to do the things that you can't do when you wait on Him. It says, the eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Whatever you are in need of, if you wait on the Lord, He will give it to you. And, and it's not just doing nothing, but it's waiting, expecting. You know it's coming. You know He's going to take care of the situation. And sometimes I fault myself for not acting like I know that He is going to take care of and handle the situation. Thou openest thine hand and satisfieth the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. The Lord is nigh unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. If you call upon the Lord and you trust that He hears you, you don't have to be afraid of what's going to come your way because He is right there. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And if He holds you in His hands, who's going to open His hand up and take you out of it? Or who's going to open up His hand and do something to you that He cannot stop? 19 says, He will fulfill the desires of them that fear Him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. The Lord preserveth all them that love Him, but all the wicked will He destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of the Lord, and let all flesh bless His holy name. And remember, I said bless means to give praise or call God holy. We can call Him holy by the way we act in His presence, and He is everywhere. So we can call Him holy by the way that we act on a daily basis, showing people that some things we just, like Deacon Taylor always says, some things I just can't afford to do. And so we ought to live our life like that. My mouth shall speak the praise of the Lord, and let all flesh bless His holy name forever and ever. I just want to remind you to wait on God. And while you're waiting on Him, sometimes meditate upon His word and be silent. Wait on Him to speak to you. Wait on Him to speak through you. Wait on the Lord. Again, I say wait, so that no man will look at you and say, why couldn't your disciples do? Because we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. Thank you for joining me this morning. Go take a look at Psalm 145. Go take a look at Matthew and see what God speaks to you, what jumps off the pages to you, what grabs your heart, grabs your mind, and see if God will speak a different word to you. But don't forget, look at Psalm 145. Read it in its entirety. It's not that long. Meditate upon it. Be quiet for a while. See what God will say to you. And then take a look at Matthew 17 and make sure that Jesus doesn't speak about you when He says, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you?" I'll see you next time. And don't forget that we are all blessed to be a blessing to someone else.